Hey team, today we are going over a couple of variations for passive range liftoffs for hip flexion. The purpose of a passive range liftoff is to strengthen our tissues at their end ranges of motion. We are going to do a standing variation today. So we are going to get set up by lifting one leg into a passive range for hip flexion. So I'm using a relatively tall stool for myself. Depending on where you are with your hip flexion, you may want to go with a lower surface, but you also want to make sure that you're able to, again, be at your end range of motion. So you don't want it too low, you want it reasonably high, but also you want it high enough where you're able to maintain your alignment. So going through some checkpoints, as I lift, I want to make sure that my knee does not bend, that it stays as straight as I can without hyperextending at the knee. I'll have a little bit of a contraction out of that plant leg, so the leg that's extended at the hip, contract that glute slightly. As I lift this left leg actively into hip flexion, I want to make sure that I'm not leaning back. I also want to make sure that as I lift, that I do not let the foot just dangle. I want to actively dorsiflex at that foot ankle. As I go through and I lift, I'm going to generally hold this position for 3 to 5 seconds. I say 3 at minimum. And then again, depending on where you are time-wise, if you do 10 reps of a 3-second hold, that turns out to be 30 seconds of work per side. So I'm going to, and again, sorry, before I keep going, depending on where you are balance-wise, if you have trouble with balance, you can go wide with your arms for a counterbalance. Or if you have training sticks, you can use training sticks, drive them down to help you stay stable. I'm going to do freestanding to challenge my balance as well. So as I lift, I hold for 3, 2, 1, come down slowly with control. From the front, as I lift, I want to make sure that I'm not shifting over to either side as well. So I don't want the hips moving. I don't want the torso moving. I want to stay upright. I want to stay tall, and I want to stay in line. Again, as I actively lift and hold for 3, 2, 1, come down slowly with control. To progress this movement, I'm going to lift and then extend at the leg. So I'm going to show you from the side first. So I lift up, I'm in my passive range. I get into my active range, and then I'm going to extend at the knee. As I extend at the knee, I want to make sure that my leg maintains the same height. So tendency for people is to lift up and then let the leg drop as they extend out. What we want to do is lift up, keep that height that we have of flexion, extend at the knee, hold for 3, 2, 1. Keep that same height as I flex back at the knee, and then release back down to rest. So from the front, I lift, again, without shifting at the hips or the torso. I lift into flexion. I extend at the knee and hold for 3, 2, 1. Keep that same height as I flex back at the knee, and then set it down. To progress this movement, we want to abduct. So when you abduct, the further you abduct, the more challenging the movement becomes. So if I'm lifting into flexion, I abduct at the hip. So depending on where I am, I can change the position of my foot to make it easier for me or harder. So the more open that you are with the hip, the more challenging the movement becomes. As we open or as we abduct, we also want to make sure that we're not diving in at the knee or internally rotating at the hip. We want to keep the leg back as much as we can as we lift. Change myself into flexion and hold for 3, 2, 1. Set it down. Part of what we also work on, again, we're still working hip extension with the plant leg, but now when you abduct, you're also getting some glute medius involved as well. From this side, I lift, I abduct. And again, especially for this bent leg or straight leg, you're going to want to kind of lean over for a counterbalance. So you want to stay as upright as you can. as we lift into flexion and hold for 3, 2, 1. Come down slowly with control. Same thing with the progression. I lift into flexion. I abduct at the hip. I'm going to lift into flexion, extend at the knee and hold for 3, 2, 1. Keep that height as I come through and come down. Last one. I lift into flexion. I abduct at my hip. And the reason why I'm using my hand is to conserve energy. So can I lift up? Sure. But this is a challenging movement. If you're following along at home, my glutes, especially the meads, cramping up a little bit. That's completely normal. Your quad may cramp up if you extend out. That's completely normal as well. So again, as I extend, I want to make sure I'm not leaning over towards the side or shifting at the hips. I'm going to get in nice and close. I'm going to lift up into flexion, and then I'm going to extend out and hold for 3, 2, 1. Keep that same height as I flex at the knee, and then set it down. Thank you for following along. Hopefully you learned something new today. If you find this information useful, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.